Hey everyone, this is Kathy with Weeby Weave. I'm going to do a tips and tricks, and today it's going to be on adding beads to your project. I noticed that a lot of people add beads around the sides. Sorry about my hands, that's hard work. Um, they'll add them around the sides or they'll add them on the top, but they're sticking out to where these are not sticking out. They're actually woven right into the project. And I thought, well, I have one video out there, but it's a short, so I thought I would do a nice long video um, on how to do this. So I'm in the midst of finishing this basket here, and I just pull those pine needles off and throw them. And because these are glycerin, these are very loose when you're adding the bead, but they will tighten up nicely um, as you're moving along. So I have to add some needles here to get my gauge. And no, I don't use gauges. I just stick these in here. I try to get them right in the center. Um, and I'll get all my little ends, the sticky ends off later. I do keep my work, I don't do my stitches really close together. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But anyway, so let's go ahead and bring you in. Okay. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to, it doesn't matter if you're just starting a bead or not, but the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull, you're going to be working from behind, and you've got to get your needle under that thread and pull it through. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bead, okay? Then I want to tell you something about where I score my beads. Most of my beads um, that I end up using in my projects, I get them. I go to garage sales and stuff, and I look for dollar a strand wooden beads that somebody had on a necklace. And did you see that crooked needle that I just stuck in there? Because you're not going to see it. It's gonna add more um, thickness to my coil. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to add the bead. I'm going to grab a bead. I'm going to, and that's the other thing I love about wood beads is that they have large holes. And all right, so here, this is what it's going to look like, right? Well, we don't want that there, do we? So we want to do that, pull the bead so it's kind of like, down on your sinew somewhere. Um, so here we go. We're going to pull the needle under that top thread like that. Bring it towards you and start pulling it through. You'll see it in a minute. We got a ragweed alert. I'm very nasally. Okay. So now I'm going to pull this so that when I go ahead and I get my tension right. Now, to secure that bead, you can't just like leave that on there and go cuz then it won't work right. You have to go back up through this bead like this. See? Pull your needles that way. Bring your darning needle this way and start pulling. Make it tight. Just pull it. Pull it and make it tight. Now I'm ready to do my next one. And I just get into the habit of, you know, adding a couple more needles because it depends on what kind of project I'm doing. I'm doing this just because I'm finishing this basket and I make all the centers. Hopefully someday I'll be able to supply you guys with all longleaf pines if you want them, glycerin, dyed, whatever. But since I've moved to Tennessee, I'm growing some North Carolina longleaf pines, but I still have sources. in Florida, and everybody sends them to me. So um, I do not sell them at this time, but I will down the road. I promise. I'll start selling again. All right, so I had some little tiny pieces of pine that I need to pop off these ends. There we go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab another bead. I'm going to move this camera a little bit. Okay. Now, it's on the string. It's on my sinew. I'm going to take this, make sure it's over here. And now I'm going to bring my needle behind. And I'm going to just pull my needle through that. Bring the needle towards you. Pull it towards you. Don't go too fast. You don't want to knot up your sinew or your thread. I just love using sinew. It's just the way I learned. I don't use a gauge because that's just the way I learned. But you guys just do whatever you have to do. Okay. So now the bead's there. But remember, I'm going to keep repeating this. You can't just go like that and add the next bead. It's not going to look right. You got to pull that tight. So come down. Go inside your bead. Over your needles. And pull through. Make sure that you're forming your basket at the same time. Just form it up the way you need to. See, I have a needle that came out. That happens. Okay. And there you go. Just like that. Now remember, I make all my centers. They're hard like stone. You can get them on Etsy in my shop at We Be Weave. I also have a Facebook page called We Be Weave, and I try to add the links to videos like this and anything that I think would be prevalent to coiling. But if you need any help with anything, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. I hope that helped you. I hope that makes it more clear. If you think I need to do a longer video on the beads to use and in general, but see, here's a bag of beads that I scored at a garage sale. You know, I think I got them for $1, but it was full. So, I mean, I love using, if I'm going to be using pine needles, I love to be using everything I can natural, as much as I can. And yes, I do use smaller sized sinew, thinner sized. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's no rules to this. There's no right or wrong. So don't worry about nothing. And then I teach how to make little baskets, but these little tiny baskets like this are great for coilers because we could just stick our beads in there and keep them close by. Also, the other thing I want to recommend are these. They're utility plastic bins. I think they're like $3.97 or $4.97. I think I got it at Walmart. But they'll fit longleaf pines. I mean, almost, right? So anyway, just let me know if there's anything that you need or any kind of help that you want. And you have a great day. Thanks for sticking around for the tutorial. And check out my other videos on glycerin, doing glycerin pine needles and whatever else you need. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.